Hey everybody, and welcome back to another book review. I just read the next book in the Murder at an Irish something series. It is Murder at an Irish Session by Carlene O'Connor. And as always, like I've said before, this is one of my favorite series. That is just an easy, chill murder mystery series. And as we know, I love a good murder mystery book. But I've been looking forward to this next book in the series, and I'm so glad that it's finally out. Yay! So this one we're still following Siobhan O'Sullivan, and she is pregnant. So I felt very connected to this book this time, just because there was a lot of things in the books. Siobhan is I think they said she's about 4 months pregnant, and I'm about 5. So, I'm actually over 5 now. But I was like, yep, felt that. So like it was just kind of fun to have the the sympathy with the character at that time. And so it was really fun to read about that. And then it was also really cool. I really feel like Carlene O'Connor does a really good job about sharing about Irish culture and Irish history throughout the whole series, and in her books, even if it's small, but it's enough that you're just like, oh, I feel like I learned something while also enjoying the rest of the book. And so this one, because it's talking about trad sessions, and just kind of understanding how a trad session works. Like I've heard of trad sessions, I've never actually been to a trad session, but I've always been curious about them. I'm like, what makes it a trad session and not just what we would call in the U.S. a jam session? And so she kind of explained those things in the book, and so that was really cool to learn about. And they also talked about which instruments are common and things like that. And as a musician and singer, like I love those things. So it was really fun to read and hear about all of that stuff. So yeah. But yeah, so following Siobhan, and she decides that she is going to host, or get the city to host a matchmaking session for, or a matchmaking festival for Irish trad musicians. And the reason she does this is because her youngest brother, Kieran, is a fiddler, and he is on this thing about like, I'm never going to find love and all this stuff. And so she's like, well, why don't we do this? They bring in a matchmaker, and the matchmaker eventually gets murdered. And yeah, it just starts this, whole whirlwind experience, as always. So yeah, overall, liked the book. Again, felt really connected to it. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Like it's just I love the series, so so I'm gonna keep reading, as long as she's writing them. And I also hope, because I do audiobook the series as well, I also hope that she continues to write, and the person that does the audiobook also continues to do the audiobook. So I love hearing it with an Irish accent, and it's just so comforting, and very easy to follow and get along with. So yeah, and I think part of the reason that I only give it a 4 out of 5 and not a 5 is because like the characters have all kind of expanded, and so like each book the characters get older, right? And so since the beginning of the series, Siobhan's siblings, most of them have been home, and now they've all kind of branched out and dispersed. So I kind of feel like I'm missing characters a little bit, and so I would like to hear more about them. But at the same time, there's also just like reasons that characters like suddenly pop back up, and I'm like, but why? And so in this case, she talks about her siblings, her brother James and her brother Grania, who are living in another town, working, and they suddenly pop back up in the middle of the festival to visit, but it was never like clearly stated why they came back to visit, which was just kind of weird to me. And so there were just like a few like weird little holes. And then her other brother Owen is dating one of the other police officers, Areta, and it's never been like super clear on like what their ages are. So I'm like, well, when did they start dating, and why did they start dating, and how does this work? And I kind of just want like I need like a spinoff book almost to kind of catch up on everybody else's lives. But outside of that, the book is good. And again, if you're just a person that like likes a nice easygoing murder mystery in the middle of reading other intense things, this is one of those books that's super easy to jump into and easy to follow along with. So, yeah, I think that's about it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you so choose. And I will see you in the next book review. Bye!